The White House confirmed last hour that there will be a second round of talks this weekend between the U.S. and Iran. Both countries are sending a delegation to Pakistan's capital for negotiations. Journalist Nick Harper is tracking developments and he joins us live from Washington. So Nick, what do we know about the next round of peace talks?
Well, Andrew, we've had two big things from the White House in the last hour or so. Confirmation and confidence. Confirmation, first of all, that it will be sending two negotiators to Pakistan this weekend. The peace envoy Steve Witkoff, along with Jared Kushner, the president's son-in-law. They'll be travelling Saturday morning, aiming to head to Pakistan for talks potentially later in the day. But also confidence from the White House. There seems to be optimism that things might be moving in the right direction. The White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt came out to speak to reporters, and she said that there had been progress overall during recent days, and therefore the United States was willing to give it a second chance with a second round of talks. Let's listen to what she had to say.
The Iranians want to talk. They want to talk in person, and so the president is, as I've said many, many times to all of you, always willing to give diplomacy a chance. We've certainly seen some progress from the Iranian side in the last couple of days. Again, the president has made the decision to send Steve and Jared to hear the Iranians out. And so we'll see what they have to say this weekend.
However, importantly, there are a couple of notable absences in terms of the negotiating teams. The US Vice President J.D. Vance, who led the delegation first time round, will not be travelling. The White House says that he is on standby, which seems to suggest the United States is going into this really trying to test the waters to see what Iran is suggesting. On the Iranian side, the lead negotiator for this round of talks will be the Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi. Mohammad Ghalibaf, the Speaker of the Iranian Parliament who led their delegation in the first round of talks, also won't be taking part. There is that chance that he and J.D. Vance might join later if both sides feel things are moving in the right direction. Andrew?
U.S. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth held a briefing earlier today on the U.S. blockade of Iranian ports. What did we learn from that?
Well, a very clear message from the Defense Secretary saying that that blockade that the US is carrying out against Iranian ports will remain in place. He said it'll stay for as long as it takes. He updated that the US has now turned back 34 Iranian vessels since the start of the blockade. He also said that blockade was now global because we know in recent days the US has seized 2 Iranian ships in the Indo-Pacific. He also attacked European allies for not helping the United States and spoke about this being very much part of the US plan to have that iron-tight grip on the region. This is what he had to say.
The United States has imposed an ironclad blockade that grows more powerful by the day. From the Gulf of Oman to the open oceans, our Navy is enforcing this blockade without hesitation or apology. No one sails from the Strait of Hormuz to anywhere in the world without the permission of the United States Navy.
So that blockade remains, as does the ceasefire, which essentially is open-ended. The US president has extended it. He says to give Iran time to bring a proposal to the table, which we may be seeing more of this weekend. But we also know, as a deterrent, the US has been strengthening its naval position. Another aircraft carrier coming to the region, about 6,000 service personnel on board. And of course, remember, the US president has promised that they are ready if he decides that he needs to restart hostilities, if he's not feeling that Iran is negotiating in good faith. Andrew?
Nick, thank you. Journalist Nick Harper in Washington.